How to make caramel apple biscotti. Let's get into it. First, we're gonna peel, core, and chop 1.5 cups of apple. Ideally, you would do this the day before or a couple of days before because you want to dry them out. So make sure you core them, peel them, chop them kind of small but not too small, but definitely small pieces. Next, we're going to dry them out. Again, this is why you would do it the night before. Take a clean tea towel or a dish towel that you don't care about getting dirty or messed up. If you do care about that, definitely use a darker one because I unintentionally ruined this one. Roll your sliced apples up into one even layer and then leave it for a day or two so they dry out. Don't worry about them becoming brown because they're going to get cooked in the oven later anyways. In a medium to large size bowl, we are going to beat 1/3 cup of butter, room temperature, with 1¼ cups of granulated sugar, either with a hand mixer or your stand mixer, for about 2 to 3 minutes. You want to make sure everything is well blended. Next, you want to add 2 eggs, room temperature, and then beat until well blended. And then add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then beat that till well blended as well. Add 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix again, beat until well combined. But not fully combined because we still have to add other stuff. A few flour streaks is totally fine. Like this. And when your apples are dry enough, you want to scoop them up and add them into your bowl with your dough. Taking a rubber spatula, you want to gently fold them so the dough doesn't get overworked and overmixed. Very gently, just fold it into each other until the apples are fully mixed in like this. Next, you want to grease a tinfoil lined baking sheet with some Pam spray or some oil, whatever you got. Then with floured hands, you want to take your dough and don't forget to scrape down your bowl. Just plop the dough right onto your tinfoil lined baking sheet and start patting it out into a 10 by 4 rectangle. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to break out the measuring tape or anything, but as long as it's roughly 10 by 4. You want to bake it off at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes or until it doesn't feel doughy anymore and the dough is set, but not fully cooked. Now after 30 minutes, leave the oven on, but take the biscotti out and let it rest for 15 minutes. After that, you want to take a serrated knife and cut your dough at an angle like this, about 3/4 of an inch thick. Some of mine are big, some of mine are small. I decided to make different sizes. You want to line them up, cut side down, right back onto the same baking sheet you used. And give them a little bit of breathing room. They're not going to grow or anything, but it's just nice for circulation. Bake for 9 minutes. After that, take them back out of the oven and then start flipping them over to the other side. Be careful not to burn yourself. And when that's all done, you want to bake for another 9 minutes. And with that, you can take them out of the oven and shut your oven off and let them cool down completely so we can make our caramel dipping sauce. Fair warning, this caramel is very hard, so if you don't want that, just go to your ice cream aisle and buy caramel that's already made. Grab a small bowl and grab some caramel baking chips and some Crisco. You're gonna have to sit there and, if you buy the same brand I did, individually unwrap every single one. You will need 1 cup of caramel baking chips and 1 teaspoon of Crisco. Now you want to very carefully and very slowly melt this into your microwave. Do it maybe for about 30 seconds or a minute at a time. You want to do it slowly so it doesn't burn. Trust me, it does not smell good. And when everything is nice and smooth and soft, you want to slowly mix it around. When it's nice and soft, you can start dipping your biscotti. Take the tops in general, carefully dip it. Be careful not to dip your hands because at that point the caramel will be very hot. Just dip the one side and then put it back onto your baking sheet. You can leave it like that, but for fun I decided to add some sprinkles. You can add these or don't add these, it's up to you. And just continue dipping all of your biscotti into the caramel and sprinkles if you want to. If your caramel starts getting hard again, just put it back in the microwave for a couple of seconds. Then when you're done, just set them aside for a minute so the caramel hardens and softens up a little bit. And when you're ready, serve and enjoy. Again, fair warning, the caramel gets hard, so go to your ice cream aisle if you prefer that instead.